fedora or pancake-type hat. Pachuco boys felt Zoot suits brought them respect and also helped to attract the attention of Mexican-American girls. But in Los Angeles, the Zoot suiters had competition.
The servicemen in Los Angeles on their way to war would frequently go to clubs, nightclubs, jazz clubs, where they would pick up Mexican-American women. And there's a very natural rivalry between the servicemen trying to pick up Mexican-American women and Mexican-American male adolescents who didn't particularly care for the fact.
Many in the military resented Zoot suiters because their dress placed them in direct defiance of the War Board's Rationing Act, a law that forbade the use of excess garment material.
Ethnic tension also existed because these Mexican-American kids with their Zoot suits were obviously not going off to war, and the mostly white servicemen were. So there was a good deal of tension between the two groups that then exploded in the Zoot suit riots.
It happened on the evening of June 3rd, 1943, when a group of 11 sailors clashed with a gang of 20 Zoot suiters on a downtown LA street. The Zoot suiters got the best of the sailors. But after the fight, word of the melee spread quickly to the nearby Naval Armory.
According to the sailors, when they went back to the armory, they said these Pachucos and Zoot suiters jumped them. So the sailors went on their own to go around looking for Zoot suiters and beating them up.
For the remainder of the evening, fights between the sailors and Zoot suiters broke out around the city. Press accounts the next day favored the sailors. So did the police department.
They would go around and arrest the Mexicans and put them in jail for disturbing the peace. They were the ones that were blamed for the problem. In other words, in the newspaper headlines were saying, let the servicemen clean up the city of all these gangsters and all these Pachucos. A lot of racism tied in with that.
For the next 3 nights, the sailors sought revenge, cruising the streets, searching for anyone who wore a Zoot suit. Sal Sandoval, 16 at the time, was there.
We took our Zoot suit outfits off to minimize the problem. We'd wore khakis. So I was coming home from work in my khakis, and I saw this young man with his wife, and she was nice. She had a nice shape in it. And there was 2 sailors coming across, you know. So these sailors, not knowing that it was this guy's wife, they started, you know. All of a sudden, I heard the lady scream, and the husband turned around, and he said, "What's wrong? This guy's trying to pull my pants down. Pull my pants down." In 5 minutes, police were all over there, man. And who did they take? The husband and the woman. The sailors, go back on board ship. I was there. I was there, you know.
Without fear of arrest, emboldened military personnel continued their rampage through Los Angeles for 2 more days.
Things got bigger by the 4th and 5th, where we had thousands of servicemen going up and down the streets of downtown Los Angeles, beating up anybody that was Mexican. And the military authorities, Shore Patrol and others, they couldn't control it.
They started coming down to the main section of town, Main Street, and they started going into the theaters. But they encountered our dads, not us. But they figured that since we were all Mexican, we would be in there. So they started beating up on our dads. So that made a grave, grave situation.
As the fighting spread, rival Zoot suit gangs joined together to defend their communities. By day 6, over 100 Zoot suiters had been arrested. But thousands of others remained on the street as the brawling escalated.
We started retaliating, you know. They never figured on knives, you know. And that's what we started doing, knifing them, showing them, you know, we're not scared of you.
The rioting made national news, prompting smaller incidents in California, Texas, and Arizona, all cities with similar type Zoot suit gangs. By June 9th, the violence in Los Angeles got the attention of the federal government. President Franklin Roosevelt ordered the Navy to control its sailors. 4 days later, what is known as the Zoot Suit riots finally ceased.
It's a misnomer to call the Zoot Suit riots a Zoot Suit riot because it was really a military riot where the servicemen would go in and strip adolescents of their Zoot suits and they would beat the kids up.
All told, 95 Mexican residents had been arrested. Only 20 sailors were put in jail. Of the 112 injured, 94 were Zoot Suiters. No one was killed. Within a decade, Zoot Suiters were nothing more than a curiosity. The riots illuminated the racial divide in Los Angeles during the 1940s. For Pachucos and their families, they left bitter memories of a country that had promised so much.
It kind of stunned us because our dads and our moms were not used to this kind of thing. They came here in the belief that this was the best country in the world, that everybody was treated equal. But I do have regrets. I wish I could do it all over again. I wish this country could give me that chance to do it all over again. But this country has to change. It has to change to give me that opportunity.